We are on a rock and roll road trip with Mo and Les Beans. What's up, Les?
What's up?
We have the wallflowers and Clapton in the box. We are good to go. Don't go away. Welcome to Rock Hard Riffs, the guitar channel for the self-taught. Well, today again we're doing something a little different. We're taking a little road trip out here in the Great Sonoran Desert of Arizona. As you can see, we have the saguaro cactus right there. We used to climb those when we were kids. And Les Beans, if you come over here and zoom up that hill. You can see up that hill, zoom in as far as you can. That's called teddy bear cholla. And it's so cute you can hug it. Oh, teddy bear cholla. It's also known as jumping cactus. Probably not the best idea to hug it. Okay, now, real briefly, we're heading to an old west mining town, Wickenburg, Arizona. A lot of gold was mined up there. And you know, this is another thing. This is going to be a very heavy metal road trip. Why is that? Because Arizona was full of miners. And they were mining gold, copper, silver. So they were into their metal. Okay. So the few things you never go into the desert without, just in case any of you folks care. Obviously, water is one. Another is a hat. Generally like a light straw hat with a big broad brim is best. Keep that sun off you and the straw so it breathes. Another is a walking stick that's at least as tall as yourself. Now you're asking, okay, why? This is my rattlesnake checker. Okay, I can stick this thing way out in front of me, in front of a brush and stuff to make sure there are no rattlesnakes in it. Now rattlesnakes, as a general rule, can only strike half the distance of their own body if they're coiled. So this stick should take care of anything in the distance from a rattlesnake. Now another thing is never go into the desert without a machete. Now that's a knife. Okay, always take a machete. Now you might say again, why a machete? Well, one, this is great to cut through brush, and believe it or not, just take a look over here, pan over here. And you have Palo Verde trees and all kinds of brush in the desert, believe it or not. And sometimes you need to cut through that. Now another thing is, let's say you have prickly pear cactus. I'm sure you're probably familiar with that. You can split the middle of a prickly pear pad with this and get the meat out of the pad, and or use that pad, believe it or not, as a cast. If you say you have a broken limb or something, that stuff, you wrap it around whatever is broken and just leave it there and it will harden just like a cast. Kind of interesting, right? So this has several uses. Now one last bizarre thing, and this one's really going to have you scratching your head, that you never go into the desert without, and that is a large fine-tooth comb. Now I know I can hear your minds out there, come on man, large fine-tooth comb, what are you full of? Believe it or not, you use a large fine-tooth comb in case you ever get that cholla stuck into you. Don't use pliers, don't grab it, whatever you do, because now you're going to have a whole handful of cholla too. What that cholla does is when it goes into you, it curls, and it's like a barb and it's stuck into you. And that's the whole purpose. That's how cholla spreads. Is it a cow or whatever type of animal walks by, it latches onto it, and then eventually it's going to drop off somewhere and leave its seeds, okay? But the way to get cholla off is with a fine-tooth comb. Just lightly brush it out and it'll bring it right out. And I've had to do it and it works. It truly does work. I had a couple of my dogs had faces full of cholla. They're trying to get it off with their paws and it just got worse and worse, and now it's in their paws and their face and their eyes and everywhere. I thought I'd use that trick I learned, and sure enough, it came right out immediately. Now you're gonna say to me, Mo, how do you know all this stuff? Well, for one, I've lived in the Arizona desert for my entire life, and number two, I learned a lot of this stuff from, believe it or not, here goes another crazy one, Billy Jack. The real Billy Jack, not Tom Laughlin, the actor, the actual Billy Jack. I studied desert and forest survival under him. And, you know, a whole group of folks of us did. So, interesting character, the real Billy Jack. Yeah, the Hapkido guy from the movies. So, interesting. All right, guys, so now we're going to head up the road and we're going to head into the old west town of Wickenburg, Arizona. That's gold country. Up there is the Vulture Mine, and that was still operating up till not too long ago. They were going through the tailings. They were mining the tailings of way back when. So, all right, right on. We will see you in Wickenburg. And here we are. We're heading up Highway 60 to Wickenburg. And you can see it's a beautiful day out. It's, what, about 70 degrees? 70 degrees, very nice. Beautiful scenery out here. We have not had any real decent rain this winter at all. And this is, believe it or not, our wettest time of the year. Some think it's during the rainy monsoon, which means season. Monsoon means season. But no, it's actually the winter when we go get most rain. And you can see, look how dry those cottonwood trees are. We need some rain, folks. Again, this is Highway 60. We're heading northwest. If we stayed on this, we'd be heading up towards Las Vegas. So, here we go. All right, we'll see you in Wickenburg again. We're on the outskirts of Wickenburg now. They definitely did do a lot of gold mining up here. Up here also, if we kept going and went to the northeast, is an area called Yarnell. Now, you may have heard of the fire, really bad fire that was up in Yarnell a few years back. That was also a kind of a wild Old West area of Arizona. A lot of stories and stuff back up in there, and they had gold nuggets the size of chicken eggs. Was the story. That's how big the gold was back up in there in the hills. And a lot of Wild West stuff back in there. Now, Arizona, there are cattle here, and they still raise cattle here. But the primary reason why people came to Arizona was, one, during the gold rush, they were passing through it to get to California. And of course, they would prospect on their way. And they found all kinds of minerals in Arizona. And also, after the Civil War, a lot of Texans came here. A lot of Texans came to Arizona. And some raised cattle, but primarily, this is a mining state. This used to be known as the Copper State. They mined a lot of copper out in Globe and Miami and that area, but those mines, they keep closing and reopening. Who knows what's going on up there. But now we're in what you want to call Wickenburg proper, if you will, where we're going to go into downtown, which is more Old West kind of looking for you. So we will we'll see you downtown. Alright, now we're cruising through downtown Wickenburg. It's kind of a quaint little town. They do rodeos and stuff here, still. Still very much, you know, you've got the old false front places. Let's turn right up here. Straight ahead of us is the Wickenburg Museum. And it's about 11:30 on a Thursday morning. And so we're going to grab something to eat here. You can see the clock. Oh, howdy, partner. Howdy do.
Yes, I
see what I mean? Minor.
All over the face of my phone. And you haven't been in this store? Look at this.
Here we're just walking down the walk here in old Wickenburg. Celeste Beans, give us your thoughts on Wickenburg.
It's old and western, and it's nice and fun.
It's a little cooler than down in Phoenix, huh?
Yep.
It's the Arizona state flag there, Mr. Beans. All right, let's go this way. Now this is known as agave or century plant. That's a small saguaro. That is barrel cactus. Barrel, B-A-R-R-E-L. And here's a big old saguaro that they've had to prop up. These things are extremely heavy. And they are very, very old. These cactus are very old. Of course, we have a lot of gift shops here. Now, we still say howdy in Arizona in the old West. I'm an Arizonan, and we still say howdy out here. So, you know, cool stuff. They have little wagon wheels or fly wheels, spittoons, you know, kind of stuff you'd expect in the old West. Very cool. And we're still looking for a place to eat. We'll find something here. In case any of you folks are out this way, take a ghost tour. There's also the old Vulture Mine. That's why Wickenburg kind of exists, because the gold mines. Thanks for the rain. Yeah, we could use some right now. That's a mule. Actually, the miners and cowboys, they didn't use horses so much. They used mules. They were more steady, more dependable. This old boy, this is Everett Bowman, all-around champion cowboy of the world, years 1935 and 1937. Wow. Born 1899 in Hope, New Mexico. Died October 25th, 1971 in Wickenburg, Arizona. Known as the Cowboy's Cowboy, admired and revered by the townsfolk. He was a champion mule trainer. So like I was saying, they used mules. That's granite that's in. They used mules more than they did horses. Steadier, more dependable, and not as high strung. So there are a lot of fallacies about the old West. Not that you don't see them using mules, but you know, horses are more romantic, I guess. Is that what you say? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you think of the old West? You like the old West? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's hot.
Now you've been to, we both been to, but Coloma, California. Now that's Sutter's Mill. That's where the gold rush started in 1848. It was discovered in 1848, and then everybody heard about it, and they started coming in 1849. That's why they call it, you know, the 49ers. Well, leave that saguaro behind you. That may have been hit by lightning. That looks like a lightning strike for sure. As you can see inside there, folks, at the very top, the skeleton that's inside that. Cool stuff. We need some rain severely. I hate to keep saying that, but we just do. So, all right, Mo Beans, or Les Beans, let's get some lunch. Let's talk about some metal bands. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Well, here we are. We're in great staple of the Southwest. That's Filiberto's. I have a, of course, bean and cheese burrito, of course. Les Beans, what are you eating there?
Having some carne asada tacos and beans and rice and an horchata.
Ooh, horchata.
Keeping it classic.
Yeah. Nothing like Mexican food, man. And that's the thing when you're born and raised here and lived here. You just, you embrace the Mexican heritage and the people and the food. Man, it's just so good. Now, folks out there listening, one of the reasons why we're doing this video instead of like a guitar video, I've actually been able to practice lately. My back has been getting a little bit better, so I'm able to practice. But look at my thumb. That was a blister. I've got blisters on my fingers. But that comes from picking like that. This is how I hold my pick. And I'm striking the strings with the flesh on my thumb, which formed a blister. Then of course I had to get rid of that. Now it's all kinds of nasty. So I can't play for the next few days. So I'll put a Band-Aid on it or something, we'll see. But, so how's that food there, buddy?
Delicious.
Unfortunately, I didn't bring my little gorilla stand, so I can't set the camera down. But now talk to us about your metal bands that you've been into lately.
I've been listening to a lot of technical death metal lately, some Obscura and Necrophagist, or Gist, or however you pronounce it. This should be a good year for metal releases.
Oh yeah? Don't mind me, I'm just gonna...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, don't mind me. Keep going. Go ahead.
I will be going to a Mastodon concert with Primus in
Primus, they
July.
still around?
They are. They went on hiatus for a while, but I think they're back together now. So they'll be doing a double headliner tour. I'll be seeing Between the Buried and Me in March, when they're a few days after their album comes out.
Sweet.
So it should be an exciting year. Some new Behemoth will be out this year, and you know.
It's a metal year.
It's a metal year. Last year was a little meh, but this year has high promises.
Now you've been getting into Pink Floyd a lot lately, you said too, right?
Yep, some prog rock. It's good.
Cool.
It's great. The guitar playing is great. Love the bass and the drumming and everything.
Yeah. You know, I think a band, if you're really looking for prog rock and you're looking for the early roots and stuff of it, I would listen to the band Yes.
I've listened to Yes a little bit.
Yeah, Roundabout and all. It's a great band, really good stuff. Chris Squire on bass, killer bass player, all of them. The whole band was awesome, incredible players. Great songs too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be the greatest player in the world, but if you can't write a song, you're just a player. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's what most musicians, that's what most of us do. I mean, only so many of us are blessed with the ability to write a great song, you know. But you got to try, and that's partly what this channel is about. You know, if you guys have been watching the songs that I've been playing, those are to help you build your foundation. You know, because you know we're not here to hold your hand. We're here to help you assist and point you in the right direction. You know, you can go metal, you can go classic, you can go whatever direction you want with what we're showing you, which is the point, right? Well, let's. What kind of tacos you got there, Mike?
Carne asada.
Boy, does that look good.
Some cilantro and pico and onions.
Now, what is? Tell the folks what carne asada is.
Carne asada is marinated steak. It's not marinated steak. Steak is a different cut. Carne asada, they're different. Carne is generally a thinner
like
cut.
Flank, maybe.
Yeah. So they look delicious.
Or I mean, strip steak, something like that. Maybe?
Yep.
Yeah.
And just some.
And it's marinated, yeah.
Yeah. These are delicious.
You know.
If you've never had Mexican food, or you live on the East Coast or something, you find a place and try it. Because Mexican is great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, now I just keep it simple. I just need my frijoles and cheese and enchilada sauce, and I am good to go. And I'm getting hungry. All right, guys, we'll see you back on the road. Woo-hoo-hee, we got gold out there in them little hills. Gotcha, partner. Bang, 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 bang. Cisco kid. Hey, we're gonna do a little shopping here. We're gonna look through this this here antique store and see if we can find some yard art for our yard. Let's take a look. Called the Antiques Artisans Emporium. Wow, they've been cleared out. They've been cleaned out. Yeah, they've been cleaned out. They used to have a bunch of yard art type stuff, you know, fake metal cactus and stuff like that, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Little pot-belly stoves. Neat stuff. Well, guys, I know this might be kind of difficult to see, but down in there, that's a riverbed. That's the Hassayampa riverbed, and it is dry as a bone. Dry as a bone. Okay, we are now heading up to an area called Congress, Arizona. We're on Highway 93. US 93, heading northwest. Now up in this area, up in the mountains up in there, way back in there, is Yarnell. It's a beautiful drive going up through there. Again, they had the horrible fires back there, very sad. Many firefighters lost their lives. It was a very sad occasion. So you like it up here in Wickenburg, Les Beans?
Mm-hmm. Out of the city, the air is clean and I can breathe.
Yeah.
So
you live right in the heart of Phoenix.
I do.
Yeah, I live way on the outskirts. I live up by Lake Pleasant. So, but it's a great day for a drive. Again, beautiful weather.
Very nice.
Yeah. And again, I'm trying to get in on those mountains out there. There we go. There was lots of gold up in these mountains in this area. They were finding it just right on the ground. Nuggets the size of chicken eggs, like I had said earlier. And we used to camp up in here a lot too. We used to do a lot of ghost towning and stuff like that up in this area, all over the state actually, and in parts of New Mexico and California. But it's a lot of fun. And the weather is almost always good, except for summer, which is absolutely horrible. You know, 110 is a good day. And it's a dry heat. Kind of like the guy in the back of my shirt. Yeah, like a blowtorch. You see, all this vegetation here comes from the Hassayampa River. If that river were not in this area, it wouldn't be as green as it is. They may have seen more rain here than we have down in the valley. So we will talk to you next from Congress, Arizona. Well, here we are. We're in Congress, Arizona. As you can kind of tell from the buildings in the background, it's still Old West out here. Now this whole area, you know, a lot of the low deserts out here were all ocean bed or lake bed, prehistoric lake bed and ocean bed and all that. And you know, we get flash floods out here very, very easily, and people, you know, you'd think, boy, dry ground like this would absorb the water in no time. But actually, all this dirt out here is hard pack. It's got something underneath it called caliche, which makes the ground very, very hard, and it does not absorb water. Now, if you look up there, if you can see that road that's cutting across up there. That is Yarnell Hill. And there's a little town up there called Yarnell and People's Valley. And they did a lot of mining up here. This is right where they found lots and lots of gold right on the ground. Pretty awesome. Now, if we kept going up more this way, we'd be heading to Las Vegas. And if we kept going up this way, as you can see the sign up there, 71, that would take us up that hill I was pointing at. There's another town back down in this valley in here. It's called Stanton. And they have an incredibly nasty history. There, you can imagine a lot of the Old West movies and TV shows that they made with the bad guys in them. That's what Stanton was. Now, the guy's name was Stanton. And he was bad news, I guess. Now, folks, I'm going to put in the description a link to some Old West ghost town stuff that you might be interested in if you like this kind of thing. And you can see exactly where we are. I'll do my best to remember to put that in the description. So, here we are. Now, these are basically the far western foothills of the Bradshaw Mountains, which you'll find a city, Prescott, is right in the middle of. Beautiful area up there, lots of history too. Maybe we'll take another road trip up there and make a video up there sometime soon. If I get interested in this, then we'll make more videos like this, right, Les? So I think it's almost time for us to sign off on our great western, southwestern road trip here. What do you have to say to the folks out there in YouTube land?
Come to the desert and see all the pretty plants that you don't see anywhere else.
That's true.
Like the saguaros, they only grow here, and then
Ocotillos,
yeah, Mexico,
Cholla, and the Sonoran Desert. It's the only place you find them. Little bits of California, northern Mexico, and all throughout Arizona.
Yep. Come visit the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. The thing is out here, guys, it's no joke. The dry heat thing, that's not a joke. You drink more water than you think you need, and that means a lot more water than you think you need, because you'll sweat that water out. You'll evaporate it faster than you can sweat it out. And that's even in spring. It doesn't have to be summer. It's just so dry here. It will literally suck the moisture out of your body. And salt tablets and stuff, but we ingest so much salt, that's not a big deal.
With the cowboy down there.
Yeah. But you got to be careful. There's no question. Stay out of that sun. The sun is a killer. Major killer. Kills everything out here. But it's a beautiful place. And again, that's the southwestern edge of the Bradshaw Mountains right there. So again, check the description. I'll put some ghost town stuff in there for you guys. Some Old West stuff. Hopefully you'll be into that. So, all right, Les Beans, sign us out.
Shaka bra, and we will see you next video.